You know that classic line, "We didn't want to worry you"? Has that ever happened to you? You get blindsided by some huge family news and that's the explanation you're given? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, a communication pattern that has one very experienced family therapist totally stumped.
And that quote right there, that's coming straight from a family therapist, someone with more than 10 years of experience in the field. This isn't just some casual observation for her. No, it's a real, genuine puzzle about a behavior she sees just wrecking relationships over and over again. So let's get into this puzzling observation. We're talking about someone who has spent a solid decade watching how families work. And she has seen this one specific pattern so many times, so consistently, that she's genuinely baffled. She's actually asking for help to understand what's going on here.
And look, this isn't just a one-off story from a single family. We're talking time and time again. Her clients, who are mostly Gen X and Millennials, they come into her office with the exact same story, the same frustration about their parents. And what's really wild is just how consistent it is across totally different families.
So, what's at the absolute core of this whole thing? Well, it's that phrase. The justification for keeping this major, sometimes life-altering news secret, it almost always boils down to this: we didn't want to worry you. So, let's talk about what that actually sounds like in real life.
Okay, just put yourself in this situation for a second. Imagine you get that call. It's not a, "Hey, this is happening." It's a, "Hey, this happened." It's a report after the fact. All the critical moments, they're already over. And you, the adult child, were completely, totally in the dark. The intention might have been to protect you, sure, but the actual effect, it's just this jarring feeling of being excluded from something incredibly important. And here we go again. You see the pattern, right? An entire week. A whole week of uncertainty, of potential last moments, of potential goodbyes, all kept secret. The parents made a choice to wait, and in doing so, they basically robbed their adult child of the chance to be there or even just to process what was going on as it happened. Okay, so the parents followed through on their goal, right? They didn't worry their child, at least that was the plan. But what's the actual result of this? Let's get into the emotional fallout because it's pretty significant and it's shockingly predictable.
And the therapist is absolutely clear on this part. The consequences are huge. Her clients, they're not relieved. Not at all. They're devastated. They talk about feeling angry, sad, and just profoundly betrayed. And we're not just talking about hurt feelings here. This creates this deep, gnawing anxiety and this feeling that they just can't trust their own parents with important information anymore. Yeah, this goes way beyond a simple miscommunication. Think about it. Every single time this happens, it's like another crack, another fracture in the relationship. It is a fundamental breach of trust that takes a solid connection and just fills it with doubt.
And this is where we get to the central paradox, right? This is where good intentions totally backfire. An action that is taken with the goal of protecting someone you love ends up causing the exact kind of pain it was supposed to prevent. Let's break down this massive disconnect.
I mean, look at this. It's the core contradiction laid bare. The intention, to spare their child from anxiety. The actual result, a massive increase in anxiety. The intention was to protect them. The actual result, a serious, damaging breach of trust. The action literally achieves the polar opposite of what it set out to do.
And here's the real kicker. This is so important. The original anxiety about that one specific event, that gets replaced by something much worse. A new, long-term, constant anxiety. The adult child is now always wondering in the back of their mind, what aren't they telling me now? What big thing is happening right this second that I'm being cut out of? It just creates this state of permanent unease. And maybe the most baffling part of this whole puzzle? Even when the adult child sits down with them, explains how much it hurts, and straight up asks for it to change, the behavior often just continues. It's like the pattern is so deeply ingrained that just pointing it out, making logical appeals, it just doesn't work. So this brings us right back around to where we started, to the therapist's big unanswered question. After laying out all the evidence, the pattern, the justification they use, the painful results, she's still left searching. She's looking for a deeper explanation for why this keeps happening. And so, we're left with this really powerful question just kind of hanging in the air. Are we missing something here? Is there some kind of cultural thing or maybe a generational gap in how we handle bad news? Why does this protective instinct go so wrong so often? It's a communication mystery that, as we've seen, continues to fracture families.
And it leaves you wondering, what piece of the puzzle are we all missing?